I voted Republican always.
This is the problem with...
I'd vote for Goofy if Goofy.
Yeah, if I brought you a bag of used condoms, you'd vote for it if I ran it as a Republican.
Yeah.
This is my problem with party politics. I will never join a political party. You can quote me on that. I will never join one. Because when you vote party line, you vote for crap that has... You would, if you really checked under the hood, you would never be part of that. And I don't want to be aligned with a party that nominates somebody who's against their values, and then they tell me that I need to support them when they prostituted themselves. No, I won't do it. Go ahead.
So there's a lot of complex moral situations going on in this week's Torah portion, and if you just read the plain text of the book of Genesis, you think, oh, Yaakov is not such a good guy, and why did he have to do these distasteful things? But the morality of an act is a lot more than just the rules. It's also the consequences of what you do. So Yaakov had to take charge of the Jewish people's destiny, and it appears on the surface he did some things that look a bit dodgy, but morality is not just measured up against a rule book. It's also what are the consequences. That's got to be part of your thinking. So Rivka and Yaakov took charge of the Jewish people's destiny, and they did what they had to do to perpetuate the Jewish people, and that's how life is. Sometimes, I've been in a lot of situations where I did some things that broke the rules. I was living in my parents' house. They're conservative Christians, and I was having sex with women, but
I read the book.
Right, and this totally appalled my parents. And
the bathtub scene was...
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah, and so, but, see, I was kind of at a choice. If I'd stayed in my parents' house, I would have stayed ill and isolated. I had a choice between isolation and connection. I chose connection, penetration, and ejaculation. And on the surface, that does not sound like Torah. But I had to connect to people outside of my parents. I had to get away. I had to blow up my home situation so that I could rebuild a life, move to the other side of the country, live in sin with this woman 11 years older than me.
That was in Orlando?
Yeah, where I knew nobody. I had to blow up my home situation, make a fresh start, try to connect to someone, and gradually, manage to rebuild my life and regain some of my health so that I was able to lead much of what would, pass for a normal life. And again, many people would look at my situation and say, hey, you betrayed Dennis Prager's friendship by writing on him when he didn't want you to write on him. But I was destined. I was always destined to write on Dennis Prager. From the first time I called him up on his radio show and argued with him, I've been arguing with him ever since. It's just that I finally got a computer and an internet connection, and then I wanted to carry on the arguments onto my blog. So yeah, on the one hand, it was a betrayal of the friendship. But what is betrayal? What is betrayal? Betrayal, when you say that someone has betrayed you, that means that they've chosen someone or something else above you, something aside from your expectations. If I said, oh, Rabbs betrayed me because he's taking another gig on Monday nights, he's not betraying me, he's choosing something else. If I said, hey, my girlfriend betrayed me because she went out and had sex with this other guy, she didn't necessarily betray me, she chose to be with somebody else.
No, she betrayed you.
She
betrayed you. How could you say that?
If I quit my job and take another job, and my employers invested a lot of training in me, I haven't betrayed him, I've just chosen another opportunity. If someone quits on me, Rabbs quits on me, and I have to get another Torah Talk host, he's not betraying me, he's just taking another opportunity.
I disagree.
So
I disagree. Can I?
Go ahead.
If you have a relationship with somebody,
yeah,
like a boyfriend-girlfriend thing,
and she has sex with someone else,
that's the ultimate backstab. That is betrayal. That is the definition of betrayal. According to your thing, there's no sanctity of marriage. There's no bond because my wife picked up
the sanctity of marriage, but I just don't buy betrayal. Betrayal is always someone else has chosen something or someone else aside from what you expected, and you experience it as betrayal. Yeah, there should be sanctity of marriage, and if yeah, you can betray the sanctity of marriage. Yeah. But I think too often people think, let's say this doesn't work for you all the time, but I think if you just examine yourself when you think, oh, a lot of people are victims, like they go around thinking, oh, so-and-so betrayed me, so-and-so betrayed me, so-and-so betrayed me. Look back on those situations, and all those situations where you think someone else betrayed you, they simply chose somebody else or something else above you. It's just a different choice.
I completely disagree, and here's why.
Okay.
It's not for her to choose. It's not for him to choose. Anybody at any time can just pick up and say, oh, I found something else. But the idea of commitment, of sticking with somebody, of a pact, of making a covenant or a contract,
right,
or even an oral contract. When you have a relationship with somebody and you make an oral contract, you say, hey, I want to be your girlfriend, hey, let's go steady. That's an oral contract that you're going to be together again. And until you renegotiate, like maybe you want to say, hey, you know what, our oral agreement is now up for consideration, maybe it's time we start going out with other people, then you can like come to a mutual decision or whatever. But if you just pick up on yourself and you go bang the honey next door, you betrayed your girlfriend. Dude, don't get me with this horse shit that you're somehow, oh, I'm not
just making another choice.
Oh, I just made another choice, because that is the road to not taking responsibility for your own actions. It's the road to, it's the kind of road that leads to you can do anything you want to anybody at any time, and you can deflect any sense of self-responsibility because you owe nobody nothing, right? And I say that's not acceptable. You know what that is? That's called being a arrogant, egocentric asshole.
Now, Isaac wasn't bad because he wasn't Abraham.
Oh, you're supposed to rebuttal to that.
No, I said my thing, you said your thing.
Okay.
That's fair enough.
Okay, go ahead.
And
did you like my thing?
Yeah.
You saw my point?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
And
because I got the word asshole in there.
See, I'm not bad because I'm not Rabbi Rabbs. Like, I'm not
It would
a
help.
failure because I don't know as much Torah as Rabbi Rabbs. I'm not a failure because I don't have as much to say on Torah Talk as Rabbi Rabbs. I have my role. Rabbi Rabbs has his role. Isaac had his role. Abraham had his role. All we can ask is to do our best. So I'm not a failure because I'm not Rabbi Rabbs. Just wanted to...
Well, you know what? Here's the thing. Rabbi Rabbs is a huge fucking failure. When you look up failure in Wikipedia, my face is there. I'm a failure at everything I do. Everything I do turns to shit. I'm a failure in I've never been married. You know, I'm almost 50 years old. I've never been married. I'm a failure when it comes to like the most basic thing in life. I can't get a woman to marry me, right? I'm a failure in making a living. I don't have a dime to my fucking name, right? I'm living like a pauper, right? And I'm a failure at that, right? I'm a failure at Judaism. I don't learn Torah as much as I should. I don't daven as much as I should. I don't do nothing, right? I am the quintessential loser failure guy, right? If you're not like me, right, you should not feel bad because that by definition means you're not a failure. So the idea of having to say I'm not a failure because I'm not Rabbs is redundant. If you're not Rabbs, you're by definition not a failure. You got to worry about being like Rabbs. You need to get married in the next 5 years and make a real parnasa. You will be Rabbi Rabbs.
So Genesis chapter 26 verse 8, Avimelech saw Isaac fondling his wife Rivka. So that's not something you'd like find in the New Testament, like where a Christian hero is like fondling his wife. But our patriarchs, they fondled their wives.
Thank you for that, Luke. Luke Revelations 9. Thank you for that important Christian insight.
Don't feel totally sorry for Isaac because at least he fondled his wife. Like neither Rabbs or I have wives to fondle, so. In
that
this situation,
hasn't
Isaac
stopped you
is
from
superior.
fondling women.
Yeah,
thank God that has not stopped ladies.
I made some oral contracts with them too.
That has not stopped him from fondling. No.
So, yeah, like don't cry for me, Argentina. But I just wanted to get that out. Genesis chapter 26, verse 8. Isaac fondled Rivka. Avimelech saw that.